Hi guys, let's discuss current affairs. In today's set of questions, we'll begin with where we left off in the previous class, that we wish to discuss something more about this, something of this idea of the Warrior group. And I told you that I would discuss this in detail. Now, this may not relate to the exams, that any of the exams that you could be sitting for, but it would still help to become familiar with a bit of history. Okay, so Go Air is this, what is called a cheap, a no frills aircraft, airline, no frills airline. I mean, frills means just all they do is give you a seat, go sit, that's about it. Okay, at least there are seat numbers here, whereas in large parts of the world on no frills airlines, there are not even seat numbers. You just go and sit where you find a place. So in India we have SpiceJet, we have Indigo, and of course Go Air, which among the prominent ones with where they provide no frills service. So these are called no frills airline. Now, while they have rebranded themselves, they call themselves now Go First, where you come first. That's what they say. But I want to tell you about this. So the company's chairman is a guy called Nusli Wadia. Okay, this is owned by the Wadia group. This company's chairman is Nusli Wadia. How do you relate this name with a bit of history? Not a bit, a lot of history. So I'm going to tell you this. You have heard of a guy called Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Yes, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born on Christmas Day in 1876, and he passed away on the 11th of September 1948. These are not important, but you can easily remember, very easily remember. Christmas Day, that is 25th December 1876, and he passed away on one of the most important days in modern American history, that is September 11. But of course, just a year after India's independence and Pakistan's independence. So Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the first Governor General of Pakistan. He began to be called the father of Pakistan. Quaid-e-Azam, Baba-e-Qaum, all these titles. Very few people know that he was born a Gujarati. Okay, he was born in Gujarat, not Gujarat. In those days it was called Bombay State. So let's call it, he was born a Shia. He was born a Shia Muslim. He was, he came from a pretty prosperous family. He, at the age of 15 or something, he married a lady named Emibai, E-M-I-B-A-I, Emibai. Emibai died within a year of their marriage, and after that, Muhammad Ali Jinnah went abroad. He went to Britain, to pursue a career in law. So he studied law. He became a lawyer at Lincoln's Inn, the place for lawyers and all that, to study law. So, and he was this ultra sophisticated chap who loved Scotch, all kinds of meat, all kinds, even including those forbidden by Islam. What I'm telling you is all 100% right. Okay, it's because, see, if you look at this, the word Shia there, he was born as Shia, but in the books of history in Pakistan, they show him as someone who was born into the Sunni sector. Or some say, some historians of Pakistan say that he was born as Shia, but he converted to Sunni Islam later. It's all false. He was born as Shia. That much is true. And what he practiced later is a matter of speculation. But in Britain, he did everything that was not allowed by Islam. He ate all kinds of meat. He drank the finest Scotch, and of course, he spoke pretty poor Urdu or Gujarati, which was his mother tongue. Gujarati was his mother tongue. He spoke fluent English. He was exceptionally fluent in English. Now he became a lawyer, a prosperous, a successful lawyer. He came to Bombay. Now in Bombay, he met there is, he met a lady named Ratan Bai. Ratan Bai Petit. I'm going a bit slow and I want you to digest this. Okay? This is a story of one of India's most prominent, business merchants, Musli Wadia, and he's, someone related to him, who became the president of, who became the father of Pakistan. So a very important historical figure. So behind seemingly seemingly easy, ordinary things, you would find history. So Muhammad Ali Jinnah met Ratan Bai Petit. Ratan Bai belonged to the Petit family. Her father, she was the only child, her father was Dinshaw Petit. Dinshaw Petit was a pioneer of textile mills in India. The Petit family was a pioneer of textile mills in India. They were the first, they were among the first to start cotton textile mills in India. And they were extremely rich. Very, very, very rich. Ratan Bai met Jinnah and she fell in love with Jinnah. Jinnah, I think at that time was about 40 years old and she was 18. She used to call him J for Jinnah, of course. She told her father that, look, father, I want to marry Jinnah. The father was not happy. Typical love story. The father was not happy. The father said, no, you cannot marry a Muslim. You could select any boy who's a Parsi, rich, poor, does not matter. I'll get you married to that person. But this girl was quite adamant, and while she was extraordinarily beautiful, she was nicknamed the Nightingale of Bombay, the flower of Bombay. She was so beautiful. While she was extraordinarily beautiful, along with beauty, she had a mind of her own, and she told her parents, Tata, I'm going to get married to Jinnah. And Jinnah married Ratan Bai in a civil ceremony. Ratan Bai's family broke all relations, with her. Ratan Bai became Mariam because she became a Muslim. Okay, she became Mariam. Now, within a year or so, this was 1918, and she and Jinnah had a daughter, Dina. What's her name? Dina. Okay, let me write it here. Dina. Dina was just 10 years old, about, very young she was. She was about 10 years old when her mother died. Her mother died after being not so conversant. She wasn't very happy with Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Though they loved each other very much, Jinnah became very busy with politics. First as a member of the Indian National Congress, later as a member of the All India Muslim League. But at the time of the marriage, he was a member of the Indian National Congress. They separated. Ratan Bai died on her birthday, on her 29th birthday, and she died while staying at the Taj Mahal Hotel, where she had spent the last few months of her life. She was in one of the suites. Suite, the spelling is this, suite, it's pronounced sweet. Okay, so she died there, and Dina was brought up by Jinnah's sister, Fatima. Now, many people say that Jinnah had 2 more brothers and 2 more sisters. Apart from Fatima, 2 more sisters, and apart from himself, another 2 men, and 2 boys. But there is no record of their existence, where they are. No one actually known, basically. Anyway, Dina was brought up by Fatima, and Dina met a person named when Dina was 19 years old, she met a person called Neville. Okay, so she was brought up by her Bua, Jinnah's sister, Muhammad Ali Jinnah's sister, Fatima. So she met a person named Neville. Neville was born, Neville's father was born a Parsi. Parsis follow a religion called Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is the religion, but they are typically called Parsis. Okay. So Neville's father had converted the family from Zoroastrianism to Christianity. And Neville's father was a very successful business person. They used to build ships for the British Navy. You know, Neville didn't like to be a Christian. So what he did was he converted the family back to Zoroastrianism. Back to Zoroastrianism. So Neville was born a Christian but became a Zoroastrian again. I mean, reconverted the family to Zoroastrianism. At that time, Dina met Neville and they fell in love. They had 2 children. But before she married Neville, she went to Jinnah. And she told Mother Jinnah, her father, Papa, I want to marry Neville. Papa, as usual, was the typical love story villain. He said, no, you can't marry a non-Muslim. There are millions of Muslim boys. These are his words. There are millions of Muslim boys. Why don't you choose a Muslim boy? Rich, poor, Shia, Sunni, whoever has to be Muslim. You know, you select, I'll get you married to that Muslim boy. And Dina said, no, nothing doing. But then, Papa, didn't you marry a non-Muslim? Didn't you marry non-Muslim? That's Ratan Bai. To which Jinnah said, yes, I did, but later she became a Muslim. So, Jinnah, for all that he was secular about, didn't want his daughter to marry a non-Muslim. Dina said Tata to Papa because she was her mother's daughter. She said Tata to Papa. She married Neville. They had 2 children. They married in 1938. Okay, 1938. But 5 years later they separated. No divorce, but separated. So one of the 2 children of Dina and Neville is Nusli Wadia. So ladies and gentlemen, Nusli Wadia is the grandson of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And who is this Nusli Wadia? The chairman of Wadia Group, which owns Britannia, Bombay Dyeing. This is their main company, Bombay Dyeing. Okay. You have heard of Punjab Kings 11? Yes, Punjab Kings 11. You have heard of something called National Peroxide. I don't think it's, it is not a very famous company. National Peroxide, they own this. They own this Go First. So they own all these companies. He's the chairman of the company. So Neville Wadia's son, Nusli Wadia, is a grandson of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Okay. So Jinnah was Nusli's Nana, mother's father. So remember, today when back at home, you are all home of course. Today when you eat a Britannia biscuit, a Good Day Tiger biscuit, say thank you Jinnah. When you use a Bombay Dyeing bed sheet or you just jump onto the bed at home, Bombay Dyeing bed sheet or Bombay Dyeing towel, say thank you Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah is a part of life. It seems very far, but he's a part of life. Okay, so please become familiar. I just wanted to tell you this, that Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born as Shia, married a lady, she died very early, within 1 year of their marriage, and he was about 15-16 years old at the time of their marriage, but then went to Britain to study for law and came back to India, fell in love with Ratan Bai, who was a Parsi. They had a civil marriage. Their daughter, only child, Dina, was born a year later in 1919, who met Neville Wadia, who was a Parsi. Papa objected, Papa Jinnah objected. Then, of course, they went separate ways, and that's how it is. Both Neville and Dina are dead. Yeah, that's about it. But that's a part of life. I just wanted to tell you this. No exam will ask you this question. But sometimes, while we discuss all sessions, all we discuss is GK, isn't it? This is GK of different kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you a few things about this. I just want to check the time. Yeah, I spent about 5-6 minutes on this, which is okay, isn't it? Yeah. Name the first extremely severe cyclonic storm, that's a category of the storm, in the Arabian Sea to make landfall in Gujarat in 130 years. Now, there have been storms that have reached Gujarat, that have made landfall in Gujarat, but this is the first extremely severe cyclonic storm. So the storm's called Taute. The K, the K is silent. Okay, Taute. Say that, Taute. This is a name given by Myanmar. And this in the Myanmarese Bhasha means gecko. You know what's a gecko? Gecko is a kind of lizard. Chipko. It's a lively, very vocal lizard. Highly look, when it makes a sound, it kind of reverberates. I've watched this on TV, so I can tell you that. Okay, so that's a cyclone. Let me tell you what's a cyclone about. So, in a nutshell, I'll use some terms that you will see here. Landfall and all that. See, a cyclone is a low pressure area. What is it? It's a low pressure area that normally forms over water. It can form over land, but generally over water. Now, it's a low pressure center or low pressure over water. Now, here in the northern hemisphere, this is the first point. In the northern hemisphere, the winds whirl counterclockwise. Whirl means move counterclockwise. You see this cyclone here? It's in northern hemisphere. You see this? They go like this. This is counterclockwise. Okay? In southern hemisphere, they go the opposite way. What is it? Clockwise. Okay? So, they go like this normally. Fair? Now, the idea here is whether clockwise, anti-clockwise hardly matter. All that we should do is not stand in its way. We should be not in there when it makes a landfall. So, in any case, how they happen is that over water heats up. In certain area, a certain portion of the ocean, water heats up. As water heats up, it evaporates. Moisture is picked by clouds, cloud-bearing winds. Water is picked, and they begin to swirl. As they begin to swirl, they begin to move. As they begin to move, how do they move? Counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. You will find that this is clockwise, counterclockwise like this. Okay, this is what I think I told you the ulta thing. So this is clockwise like this. The winds blow like this. They are blowing like this. This is northern hemisphere. Now think about this. The stretch, the size of this could be between, the diameter could be between 100 and 2,000 kilometers. Means the stretch of the cyclone, the cloud formation, let's call it, okay, could be between 100 kilometers to 2,000 kilometers. That's the diameter. Now, this portion is called eye of the cyclone. Eye of the cyclone. This is the most calm, quiet region in the cyclone. No movement of the wind happens here. Okay. If you look at the primary source of energy, where does this cyclone that goes around at such high speeds get the energy? The most important source of energy is warm water. So it picks up moisture, heat builds up, and as it moves, and it moves, let's say it reaches the coast. Gujarat, okay. It came like this. Actually, this was the track it took. It came like this. This area where it touches the surface, the land, is called landfall. Where it touches the land, it's called landfall. Remember, the cyclone is strongest over water, not over land, because there is no energy over land that it gets from. Okay, it gets its energy from warm water, which is there in the ocean. Okay, now so as it touches the land, making a landfall, there is huge rain. Now when rain happens, remember this, the rain always happens when, okay, there is this, let's say it has touched this, the first part of the cyclone, let's say this cyclone, this part, as it crosses the land here, this one, okay, there's a lot of rain, but the same land, now the cyclone moves forward, this eye comes here. As the eye comes here, remember this, there is no rain, because the eye has no cloud cover. It's calm, there is no cloud cover, so there is no rain for some time. The moment the eye passes over my head, okay, the second part of the lower, the back part, or the rear part of the cyclone again comes over the land, and again it rains heavily. But the rain is not as heavy as the first quadrant, it's called, okay, when the first quadrant moves over land. So always remember, the center of the cyclone is called eye of the cyclone, a zone of very calm, great calmness, okay. And the speed of this extremely severe cyclone, 3-minute gap, 3 minutes, over 3 minutes measured, was 195 kmph. Sustained speeds of 195 kmph over 3 minutes. Over 1 minute, it was 210 kmph, this particular cyclone. So if you had measured, let's say 1 minute, the speed would be about 210 wind speed. 3 minutes, if the average comes down to 195. So this was quite a dangerous one. And all these cyclones get their names depending on which country is giving the name. There are 8 countries, 13 countries actually. They gave their names: India, Oman, all the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal region, countries. Now I want you to understand something, that no name could be given that is culturally insensitive, something that is negative in nature. So a tufan, like for example, this is tote. Tote means a highly vocal lizard. That's it, nothing else. So it cannot have a name that is symbolic of destruction, symbolic of something like death or something. Cultural insensitivity should not be there. That's the idea. Okay. So that's about it. I don't want to go further on this, but the cyclone moved like this. It started somewhere near, off the coast of the west of Lakshadweep, but it moved quite fast, and it moved along the entire western coast of the country. It reached, the Lakshadweep, Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, then Gujarat. Initially, they said it would move towards Kerala, then it moved, north, northwest, northeast. You never know how they move. Padma Vibhushan recipient Sundarlal Bahuguna passed away recently. He was associated with all of these things. Okay, Bahuguna ji, Sundarlal ji was born in the year Simon Commission came to India. That's how I remember. Okay, 1927, and he passed away this year. Okay, so you can see how many years and all that. I'm not going to count that. Now, he launched the Chipko Movement. The Chipko Movement in 1974. What is the Chipko Movement? See, he comes from Tehri Garhwal, Uttarakhand area. And in those days, it was all Uttar Pradesh. Tehri Garhwal. This is all mountainous region and lot of forest, mountain forest and everything. So when a tree is felling means cutting. The technical word is felling. When a tree is felled, the soil becomes loose. As the soil becomes loose, the water runoff is very high. Water does not stay there, and when the loose, you see, not just the water table goes down. At the same time, the soil becomes loose, and what is called landslides happen quite often. And people who live on at the foothills of these mountains are always a victim. They fall prey to landslides. So, and remember that people who live in mountainous areas, they always sustain on, they're generally very poor, and they sustain on wood as a fuel, wood as a fuel, for grazing, fuel, a lot of things basically. So when forest contractors were given jobs to fell trees in the Garhwal area, Sundarlal Bahuguna, his wife, and there is this great man called Chandi Prasad Bhatt. They all, came together to launch this Chipko movement, wherein they would Chipko, go and hug a tree. So the idea was the women folks, especially the women folks of this region, led by these great men, two great men and a great woman. What they did was they would go and hug a tree and tell the contractors, the timber contractors and all, if you wish to cut this tree, first kill us. First kill us. And obviously people would not do anything like that. So, he did a lot of, agitation. He one of those things that worked in his favor was a meeting with Indira Gandhi. And in 1980, a meeting with Indira Gandhi also led to a 15-year ban on felling trees. 15-year ban. But again, there is another thing that, he was not happy with. The government of India wanted to build a dam on the Bhagirathi river. It's called the Tehri Dam. Tehri Dam on the river Bhagirathi. Okay? Basically, Bhagirathi Dam river. So he said, building a dam in a seismically volatile region. This is one of the most dangerous regions in India. This is where the Indian plate moves into the, goes up basically into the Himalayas, and of course beyond that, what is called, Eurasian plate. So this is very volatile region, seismically earthquake prone region. So if you build a dam here, imagine the catastrophe it could create if the dam, is broken. So he said, we cannot have a dam here. 70s it started, late 80s actually, early 80s, sorry, it started. Government of India made a lot of promises, we will take care of all these things. Finally they built a dam, and they built the Tehri Dam, which is the highest dam in India at 260 meters. 260 meters, highest dam in India on Bhagirathi river. He, of course, a lot of false promises were made to him by successive governments at the center. First P.V. Indira Gandhi, then Rajiv Gandhi, then P.V. Narasimha Rao. In between there is Deve Gowda, there is Vishwanath Pratap Singh, there was this Inder Kumar Gujral, all prime ministers. And of course, nothing worked. They built the dam. So all three. Okay guys. So there's a lot you can learn. You just need to be a little patient. Spend 5-10 minutes, you will end up learning something nice. See, you must have seen a ladder. Yeah? You must have seen a ladder. So the ladder does not have steps like this. Does it have steps like this? You have to scale a 10 feet wall. Will your ladder have just about 5 steps? No. It would have a lot of steps. Because, from here to here would be a stretch. Whereas, if you move here and then here, if you have steps like this, you will move faster and safer. And this small steps can lead you to the goal. That's why small steps, that is like spending 15 minutes every day on reading, learning something, can help you change a lot of good things. Okay? Please learn. Which bank has issued the first ever foreign portfolio investment license to the GIFT IFSC Alternate Investment Fund of the True Beacon Global? Forget all these things. This is all not important. You could be asked only about this. Okay? So I want you to write what is IFSC. Please write IFSC. IFSC. Okay? International Financial Services Center. International Financial Services Center. Services Center. Okay. So what is it? Dash. Continue the dash. A special jurisdiction. Special jurisdiction. Jurisdiction. Special jurisdiction. From where global financial services companies, provide or offers, one and the same, okay? provide financial products and services, financial products and services, financial products and services to global consumers, in foreign currency, in foreign currency, in foreign currency. In foreign currency. Okay, that is what IFSC does. Leave one line space, right? Full form of gift, GIFT. Gujarat International Finance Tech City. Gujarat International Finance Tech City. That is the full form. Okay, inshallah. The answer is already there. Kotak Mahindra Bank CEO is Uday Kotak. Uday Kotak. SBI, India's largest bank, is run by Dinesh Khara. Dinesh Kumar Khara. Dinesh Khara is one and the same. Don't not worry. Okay. Axis Bank, Amitabh Chaudhary. Amitabh Chaudhary. ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi. HDFC Bank, Sashi Jagadishan. You can write with a double E also. Okay. Which country has pledged an additional $3 billion in aid for developing countries to assist their COVID-19 responses, and has suggested the setting up of a global forum on vaccines to ensure their equitable distribution? You know who? China. Sad, nah? That China is winning the information game, that China's responsible for what happening, and now earlier in sometime in 2000, early to 2020, when this disease was declared a pandemic, some scientists and people like Donald Trump and all that had said that this virus might be a man-made escape, or it might have been a man-made one, or might have escaped from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, WIV, Wuhan Institute of Virology. At that time, the left liberal media in the US, New York Times, Washington Post, and all this, there is their darling Dr. Anthony Fauci. They all said that no, this is a stupid theory. We should not say such things. It is something that has come from bats and all that. That is where it spread. People visited a market, what is called a wet market, where animals are live animals are bought or sometimes slaughtered there itself, and purchased to be eaten later. So that's called a wet market, where live animals are sold. Okay. All these guys criticize the theory, but now that has gained as the most probable origin of coronavirus, that this is something that the United States government, the German intelligence, the British intelligence have all put it as their main theory, that this is what we believe could have been the case, that this virus escaped from the Wuhan Institute of Virology and not from some wet market. One of those things is why it might not have come from the wet market, because before it started spreading from the wet market, even before that, 1.5 months before that, people who had not been to the wet market, had not visited there, had suffered the consequences of coronavirus. So it's unlikely that people would have first caught it at the wet market. So I'm reading a lot of stuff on, a lot of stories on this, escape from the lab origin. Okay, as escape from the lab origin. But China is trying to influence public opinion in every country in the world. Now they blamed America, then they blamed Australia. They said that Australia's frozen meat imports from Australia might have carried the virus on them. The meat came to China. That's how it spread from Australia. And they said America is responsible because American military personnel had carried this to China in the past. You never know how the Chinese would work, because the left liberal media is happy with China. Yeah. So China, India, I think all of you know about these countries. Anyway, Chancellor, the capital is Berlin. And the Chancellor is Angela, not Angela, Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel. Okay? China, anyway. Just a little more. China, world's third largest country by area. 96 lakh square kilometers. 96 lakh square kilometers. Okay, yeah. You know about the countries here. So Jagannath Pahadia, who passed away recently due to COVID, had earlier served as all of them. He was the Chief Minister of Rajasthan for just about a year, between June 1980 and July 1981. Just about a year. Okay, and he was then the Governor of Haryana also between 2009 and 2014. He was also Governor of Bihar for a very short period, but that's about it. Okay, not much to discuss here. Who is the current Chief Minister of Rajasthan? Ashok Gehlot. Ashok Gehlot. According to Knight Franks, which is a real estate firm, okay, we are real estate consultancy firm. According to a Knight Frank report called Prime Global Cities Index Q1 2020, New Delhi has been ranked dash among global cities for prime residential properties. 32nd. So you write the title like this. I'll give you the names of the top 5 in the world. Top 5 world. They rank 40 cities, and you have top 5. Top 5. 1, Shenzhen, highly industrial center in China. Shenzhen. 2, Shanghai, which is China's biggest city by population. Guangzhou, very, very large city. Guangzhou, huge industrial center. All 3 in China. 4, Vancouver, which is in Canada. 5, Seoul, which, as you know, is the capital of South Korea. South Korea. E is silent, so it's pronounced Seoul. Top 5 in the world. Shenzhen, Shanghai. Guangzhou. Then in 4th place is the Canadian city of Vancouver, and 5th is the South Korean capital of Seoul. Okay. As far as India is ranking, India rankings, you could write Indian cities. Subheading Indian cities. 32, Delhi. 36, Mumbai. 40, Bengaluru. 40, Bengaluru. ठीक है? Cool, guys. Which country recently announced that it will develop the Farzad B gas field discovered by ONGC Videsh, but it will develop it domestically. I'll tell you this entire thing, but remember that this map is wrong. This is how Pakistan. I took this from a Pakistani website just to show you that this is how they represent Pakistan. Okay, they represent Kashmir. Remember, this is not how it should be. This is how it should be. This is how it should be. But the Pakistani textbooks and world over, most maps they show Pakistan occupied Ladakh and Pakistan occupied Kashmir as part of Pakistan. But unfortunately, see, this is a map, this is not an Indian map. This is a Pakistani map. I just brought this in to show you this thing. Okay, I deliberately, but otherwise you would have seen that almost in all the sessions where there is a map which has a slightly this kind of map, I color it or I put some kind of box over it not to show that part. But here today I deliberately pull this out, okay, just to tell you something about this, so that this is often how you would find the shape of India in most world maps. Okay, so I want you to write about this. Farzad B gas oil field. Please write this. Farzad B gas oil field. Okay. Discovered by ONGC Videsh in brackets foreign investment arm of ONGC. ONGC discovered by ONGC in 2008. Full stop. Next point. India had pledged an investment of $11 billion to develop the gas well. Full stop. However, the government of Iran, through its national Iranian gas company, not gas company, it's gas field, but it's called oil company. Through Iranian oil company has awarded Farzad B gas field to a domestic company named Petropars. I'm so sorry. Petropars Group. Okay. Last point. The gas well contains 23 trillion cubic feet of gas. That's huge. Cubic feet of gas. Okay. cubic feet of gas. Okay, yeah, cubic feet of gas. So, there are two gas pipelines you see in this map, isn't it? Okay, before that, Iran is a country that normally cannot be trusted. You should know this. See, I have spent close to 25 years of my life, more than 25 years of my life learning about these countries. And I can tell you, if there is one country you cannot trust, it's Iran. Okay, because see, sometime back in 2000, early 2000, about 15 years back, we signed a deal. Okay, 18 years back, we signed a deal for gas supply, continuous gas supply through the IPI. What is it? It proposed Iran-Pakistan-India pipeline. We told the Iranians that we will buy X gas, but we wanted locked-in price. Let's say the locked-in price at the time was, I'm just giving an example, $1 billion. $1 billion. Yeah. Sorry, $1 billion. $1 per, $1. But the next year, and this would be locked in till 2022, because we are captive buyer. We will be there. We will buy their gas, whether the world buys or not. We will buy. Okay. But then the Iranians said, okay, we agree to that. This was higher than the market price in those days, but we will buy. We will sell to you. And India said, we will buy from you till 2020. No change in price. Very next year, Iranian government said, no, the price has gone up, so you have to pay extra price. This is why we should not trust the country, And not just that, look at this is another example. We have already spent, ONGC Videsh had already spent $400 million in developing this oil well. This one, here, it's here. But the Iranian government has now given it to their domestic company. And many people believe that it's under pressure from China. A lot of things, maybe sometime later we will discuss this. And another pipeline that we want to build is from Turkmenistan, okay, which is very rich in gas, okay, oil and gas, especially gas. Then through the Afghanistan, Taliban territory, Afghanistan, then Taliban territory, and of course the elimination of the whole of Pakistan to India, okay, to India. So the thing about this is, you may wonder, how can we build a pipeline through Afghanistan, because there's Taliban. Taliban is anti-India. Well, Taliban is pro-money. And we have already negotiated with Taliban that, look guys, we will give you transit paisa. Some gas will come to Afghanistan. If you run the country, you will get the gas. You need gas to run the country. Plus the fact that, every year we will give you transit paisa. We are using your land to carry gas to our country. So we are using your land to build a pipeline. We will give you paisa for that. They need paisa. So they agreed to that. They agreed not to blow up the pipeline. This is proposed. Nothing is concrete has happened. It's called TAPI. What is it called? TAPI. But let's see how it works out, because it's all, all this Pakistan. You see, even Afghanistan, even though Afghanistan is pro-India, the Taliban is generally anti-India, because Taliban is a child of Pakistan's ISI. Okay. So we'll just discuss Iran. Iran, my friends, Iran's capital is Tehran. Iran's capital is Tehran. Then the president is Hassan Rouhani. And its currency is Riyal. In brackets you could write Toman. Okay. Okay. So I think that should be fine here. not more. Since Turkmenistan is mentioned, I'll just give the name of the leader here. Okay, Turkmenistan. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. The guy is a dictator. Some places you will find Mukhamedov. K could be here, but I don't write because that's a generally accepted spelling. Okay. INS Rajput of the Indian naval ship of the Indian Navy was decommissioned recently, retired recently. Which of the following statements are true? All of them are true. Okay, it was the first destroyer of the Indian Navy and everything. So I will give you a list of destroyers. Please write Indian Navy destroyers. So that you could write INS Delhi class. So under this there are three. It's called Delhi class. INS Delhi. Mysuru. And Mumbai. Three. INS Delhi, INS Mysuru, INS Mumbai. Fair. Then we have another class, INS Kolkata. Yes. Do not worry, okay? In case it's incorrect, I'll tell you it's incorrect. Then it has three, of course, Chennai, INS Chennai. All ships, destroyer ships. Kolkata, of course, and then Kochi. Okay? Chalo. There is another class called INS Rajput. Some other time I will tell you that. India and Oman had recently signed two agreements on military cooperation and maritime issues. The capital of Oman, this is Oman, the capital is Muscat. Okay, this Muscat. So you write Oman, capital Muscat. The leader is the king, Sultan. He's called Sultan there. Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Sayyid. There is the name of the dynasty. Al Sayyid. Family surname. So Haytham, the son of Tariq Al Sayyid. Okay. The currency is Riyal. From there, would you want to know about the rest here? Why don't we look at Amman? Amman is here. This is Amman. Okay. Jordan. I'll just write it here. Jordan is a country. Amman is the capital. The king here is Abdullah the second. Abdullah the second. The currency is Jordanian dinar. Jordanian dinar. Okay. Then we have Manama. This is Manama. You see this small place here? Bahrain. So I'll write here Bahrain. Capital is Manama. It's an absolute monarchy. The king here is Hamad bin Isa. Oh, sorry. Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Okay. And the currency is, what is the currency? A dinar. Sometimes happens. Dinar. This guy is a dictator, is a Sunni, and the majority of population is Shia. So Maputo, nice place. Maputo is the capital of a place called Mozambique, East African country on the Indian Ocean coast. Mozambique. Philip Nyusi is the president. Philip Nyusi. Mozambique. And the currency is metical. Okay. We don't have Africa in this map, so let's just skip it. Let's look at Beirut. Beirut, there is a film called Beirut. Yeah, very good film. That's a true story. Of course, this is Beirut. You see this country here. It's a capital of Lebanon. Lebanon's capital is Beirut. The prime minister is an interim chap, but currently he is the chap Hassan Diab. Very volatile country, pretty much in a deep, drainage pipe. I was saying something else. Hassan Diab. And Lebanese pound. Lebanese pound is a currency. Lebanese pound. Okay, chalo. Which country's mediation brought about a truce, ceasefire between Israel and Hamas after 11 days of fighting? I already discussed Israel Hamas, so I'm not going to discuss Israel Palestine again. Okay, this is a Gaza. You see, this is Gaza Strip on the west. On its southwest is the Israeli border. Okay, it's enclosed by Iran on the other sides. Israel on the other sides. There is an access to the sea, but it's sealed off by the Israeli Navy. This is the West Bank of Palestine. Okay, so Egypt was also the first country which in 1977 negotiated a peace settlement with Israel, through which it became the first Arab country to recognize the existence of Israel. Till then, no Muslim country in the region had acknowledged the existence of the state of Israel. So Egypt said, not only we acknowledge, it only means by acknowledging your existence, we are telling you that you have a right to exist. You have a right to exist. That's what this said. In any case, the country's capital is Cairo, you can say, Kahira. Cairo. The president is a dictator called Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. And the currency is pound, Egyptian pound. Why these names Norway, Denmark? Because traditionally these are the countries that have brokered peace agreements between warring countries. Okay, so that's why these countries have come in this question. Norway, if you would want to know, just before that I would tell you, Medi is middle, Terra is land, EAN is a Greek suffix for a water body. So the water body in the middle of the land, is called, land is earth, is called Mediterranean Sea. That's how the name comes. Okay, yeah. Some people also say that between Europe and Africa, it's in the middle, that's why it's Mediterranean Sea. Does it matter? What's the answer? Norway, the capital is Oslo. It's a constitutional monarchy. There's a Raja, but we'll write the name of the Prime Minister here. Erna Solberg. Erna Solberg, and the currency is krone. Currency is krone, Norwegian krone. Denmark, sorry, Sweden. Sweden is Norway's neighbor. Its capital is Stockholm. It's a constitutional monarchy. There is a Raja here, but the Prime Minister is Stefan Löfven, and the currency is krona. Let's look at choice 4, Denmark. Copenhagen. It's a constitutional monarchy. Of course, here also there is a prime minister, this lady named Mette Frederiksen. It is the Danish krone. France, Paris, Emmanuel Macron. Euro. Chalo. Who has received the 2021 Templeton Prize in recognition of his or her life's work on animal intelligence in humanity? This is James Goodall, who had spent her entire life caring for animals, trying to bridge the gap between, gap between humans and animals through better understanding their intelligence, speech, and all that stuff. Look at her necklace, the locket. That's a map of Africa. And this is what the Templeton Prize says. The Templeton Prize is a prize given for generally contribution to our deeper understanding of spirituality and religion, and more importantly, our place in the universe, in the scheme of things. But you may wonder, how is it that she has got this? The Templeton Prize Committee said that by helping us understand, animal intelligence and everything, she has bridged the gap, and it has also made us more aware of how creative, how intelligent are the animal species, and that is the reason why we should protect them. It's not just faith, it's about being invested in what we do. So I was reading about her. If you go to the website, she has a website, and there is a National Geographic channel on her. Very good stuff. Okay, the rest we'll keep discussing, and importantly, look at this. This is, in the previous question there was David Attenborough. This is David Attenborough. Okay, this is David Attenborough, who has recently been appointed People's Advocate of COP26 for UK's presidency of the UN Climate Change Summit in Glasgow. Glasgow is in Scotland, part of Britain. It's a part of Scotland. So David Attenborough, I think most of you are familiar with his. The way he speaks, his voice is a kind of balm on the mind. He speaks, and he speaks beautifully. His words show a great care, concern for the animal, plant life, and our place in the world. That we have been endowed with brilliance, with intelligence. Only we can protect others. That's why. And why? Because our activities are destroying the earth. And unless we change today, unless we put in better effort today, preserving nature, our children will inherit a worse place. Okay. I am greatly interested in all these guys. His brother is the famous Richard Attenborough, who made this film Gandhi. Starring Ben Kingsley, which won 8 Oscars also. And if you don't recognize that movie, if you watch Jurassic Park, in Jurassic Park there is an old man who owns a park. White, bearded, white hat, white shirt, white trouser. That is Richard Attenborough. Okay. And by the way, if those of you don't know what is COP, it is Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties. You could write Conference of Parties. India has been ranked dash in the Ernst and EY's, a consultancy firm called Ernst and Young. It's a consultancy, advisory, all kind of firm. Ernst and Young's Renewable Energy Country Attractive Index 2020, owing to the exceptional performance on the solar photovoltaic front. India is the third all over the world. So you write the title like this. I'll tell you top 5 or top 3. Okay, please write. 1, US. 2, China. 3, India. Okay, because our ranking has moved up since last year. Last year we were in the 4th place, now we are in 3rd place. So because of the government's intense focus on using renewable sources of energy and everything. 4, UK. Yeah, 5, France. US, China, India, UK, France. Top 5. Top 5. Who top Forbes' list of 10 highest paid athletes of 2021? Look at that. That is Conor McGregor, mixed martial arts expert. Last year he made $180 million. That is 75 now. Last year his earnings were 1,375 crore. Good money, no? Yes, but he worked extremely hard for it. He should know this. Most of the money, that's about $120 million, came from advertisements, endorsement, brand ambassador. So the number one was, number one was Conor, $180 million. I'm not going to talk about how much money these people make. Okay, it's not important. But you should look at the effort, the commitment, the determination, the patience that has gone into making them what they are today. By the way, he belongs to Ireland. Those of you who don't know, he belongs to Ireland. Belongs to Ireland. So number 2, Messi, football guy from Argentina. He made a lot of money, about 130. No, Messi now. 3 less than 100. $97 million. That's a lot of money, man. Messi. Number 3, Ronaldo from Portugal. Football guy. Superstar. These two are considered among the best footballers in the world. 4 is Dak Prescott. American football. What you can call rugby kind of thing. Yeah. American football actually. 5th is not mentioned here. LeBron James. US basketball. He is a basketball guy. Okay, let's write together. US basketball player. US basketball player. Okay. The union government had recently announced an increase in the subsidy for dash fertilizer from rupees 500 per bag, that is a 50 kg bag, to rupees 1200 per bag. Diammonium phosphate. Okay, what I would do is in the next class I would bring to you data on this particular thing, subsidy. I'm going to discuss this in depth. I'll bring this question and I'm going to discuss this in depth with data. I'm going to discuss all types of subsidy, how the government of India, what the budget numbers last year were and budget estimates were in 2020-21 and how they had been revised because of the pandemic and everything else. We'll discuss those things. Next class, trust me, very good discussion. We'll look at the technical aspects and the data aspects. Which of the following is not a currency? You know the answer. No, yen is a Japanese currency. Japanese currency. This is a Russian currency. You can also write it as ruble. Okay, there are two spellings. Nifty is the main national stock exchange, main, index, the main stock index. Rial, well, you could say it's a currency of Iran. This is China. Now you look at this. If the spelling is RIEL, it becomes a currency of Cambodia. Iran, of course, it's also the currency of Oman. Which of the following regulates export trade in India? This is the wrong word. It should be facilitates. You please write this. DGFT. Directorate General. Directorate General or Directorate General of Foreign Trade. Foreign Trade. Foreign trade. Okay, underline that first point. Attached to Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Union Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Second point. Current DG is Amit Yadav. So current Director General of DGFT is Amit Yadav. Next. Role has changed from regulator of exports and imports to promotion and facilitation of exports and imports. So role has changed. Earlier it used to control, now it promotes trade. Yeah, very important. Okay. ECGC, right? Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. Guarantee Corporation of India. Chairman M. Senthil Nathan. Next, Exim Bank of India. Choice 2. Exim. EXIM. Exim is Exim Bank of India. That is Export Import Bank of India. Dash. Who is the chairman? Right. Raskin. It's Q. RASQUINHA. SEBI. Look at choice 3. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Dash. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Chairman. What's his name? Ajay Tyagi. I think, yeah, Ajay Tyagi. Rajesh. Who among the following is the Director General of the International Solar Alliance? Ajay Mathur. You write this. International Solar Alliance. Founded 2015. Next. Head office. Gurugram, India. Gurugram is Gurgaon. Next. 124 members. Next. Most of the members are from the tropics. Between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are from the tropics. Also called sunshine members. Okay, that's it. Choices. Samia Suluhu Hassan is the first female president of Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tanzania here. This is Mozambique. A while ago we discussed Felix Nunes' country. Mozambique. This is Tanzania. Okay. Nigeria is here. Pretty large country. This is Nigeria. Okay. Ghana. This is Ghana here. Not so big. Zambia is here. Where is this? Yeah, this is Zambia. Nigeria. Okay, Kenya. This is Kenya. Okay. Now I want you to write about Tanzania. Tanzania, capital Dodoma. You write President Samia Suluhu Hassan or Hassan. You can write either. You can say either. She became president after the previous guy, John Magufuli, died of COVID. Then Magufuli was no small guy. In fact, he was, he told everyone that the COVID is just a cold kind of thing, and he promoted herbal concoctions, black magic and all that stuff. Crazy guy. He's dead, of course. John Magufuli is dead. In his place has come his deputy, Samia Hassan, and she comes from a country called Tanzania, and Tanzania majority of population, about 63.4 something, 64% of the population is Christian. Okay, 64% of the population is Christian, while about 34 is Muslim. Okay, and if you look at this country's what is this country? Yeah, Tanzania. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Shilling is a currency. Shilling. Sometimes, too much of stuff boggles the mind. Dodoma is the capital. Samia is the president. Shilling is a currency. Okay? From there, let's go to the choices. before we. Ghana's capital is Accra. The president is Nana Akufo-Addo. Currency is steady. Currency is steady. Zambia, Lusaka. The president is a deeply anti-China guy called Edgar Lungu. Okay, the currency is Kwacha. Zambian Kwacha. Kenya, Nigeria, but anyway, let's finish this off. Nigeria, Abuja is the capital. Abuja is the capital, but the largest city is Lagos. Abuja is the capital. Muhammadu Buhari is the president. Muhammadu Buhari. And the currency is Naira. Then last country, Kenya. Kenya's capital is Nairobi. President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the currency is shilling, if I'm not wrong, shilling. Okay. So anyway, that's about it. Thank you for being here. Have a lot of fun. Thanks from Bharat. And my name is Bharat C. Jain. So please make sure you work very hard. Learn every day. As I said earlier in the discussion, please take 50 minutes off and read something of your choice. Anything of your choice. But start. It's a wonderful thing to learn. Stay safe, stay curious, and please take care of yourself. Thank you for being here.